lesson number 8, we are only going to work on the first part. We are not going to work on the whole unit number 8. It's only going to be unit number 8, part 1. I mean the first half. Well, since I have to explain, let's get down to business. So let me come back to the pages. We have the exercises that we're going to check the exercises. All right. And here we are. So let's begin with the first homework that you had, guys, and it was this one. So the idea was that you had to complete this. I mean this with these verbs right here. But I remembered that you needed to look for some like verbs that had, that were accompanied with these prepositions that we have right here. Not necessarily the ones up here, but you could use others, right? But only one. So this is it. We're going to begin with this, and let's begin with the first one. So the first group is agree with, argue with. All right, who can tell me a verb that can go with? All right, who can give me a verb that can be accompanied by, by with?
Common, like in common with.
All right, this is from this book right here. From the previous exercise up here. Yeah, why not? Who has a different one? Not from the one right here, but a different one. About. Yeah, that one is also possible. Yeah. All right. Group 3, belong to, pay attention to. Give me another verb.
Add to.
Okay. Another one. Oh yeah, water. Another one with to, belong to, play to.
Answer to. Answer.
And answer. Well, not necessarily,
Listen
but we can
to.
use it. Listen to. Yes, that one always goes with to. Yeah. Marry to. That is another one. All right, here. Group 4, pay for, wait for. Which one do you think could go? Could be there.
Long for.
Oh, that's a very good one. Long for. Yeah. Another one. Another one, guys. Pay for, wait for, long for, think for. I wouldn't say so. Like thinking for something. No. When you say think, you can use 3 different prepositions, either about, of, or on, but not for. All right, let's move to number 5. Depend on, rely on, and another one.
Play on.
Okay.
Pick up.
Pick what?
Pick up on.
Okay, you're using the ones up here, possible. Yeah, another one.
Play on.
Another one, you had already said that.
Go on. Go on.
Oh, all right, that's different. Go on. Good. Keep on.
Keep
Another
on.
one.
Get
Keep
on.
Get on. Yeah, good. 6.
Decide on.
Decide on. All right. Look at, laugh at. Another one with that. A verb with at, guys. With at. I'll give you some like smile at, similar to laugh at, right? Get at, you can also use the one with it, right? How about number 7? Succeed in, believe in. Give me a verb with a preposition in. A verb with in.
Result. Result in. Result in.
No. Right, that might work.
Specialize in.
Specialize in. Good. Specialize in. Master in something. Good.
Arriving.
Oh, arrive would be more with at, right? When you arrived at a place. So good. Arrive at this, not here, right? Well, you will need, guys, to to work more on these kind of things, like to look, especially. I mean, you can find them in the photocopies that I gave you the other day. Remember the phrase verse there? You can study from there, so you can look for them, and you are going to find them, as well as you are going to have definitions and examples of how to use them. All right, so far good. Now let's move on to our next exercise. For this one, I need a person to read the whole article right here. Who would like to read the whole article, guys? The human computer. Who wants to read the article?
Me.
Who is me?
Me, Valeria.
All right, Valeria. But hang on, Valeria. Do not read yet. Just give me a second. All right, now let's answer the questions that we have down here. Question number 1. How was his behavior different from that of all the children? All right.
Mister, I want.
Go ahead, miss.
Okay, he couldn't make friends and he could tie his own shoelaces or ride a bicycle, but he was able to calculate 82 times, 82 times, and 82 times in his head.
Okay. Okay, that was kind of good. Why not? Right. Yes, he was different to all the children because he wasn't, he wasn't the same as you said, miss. He wasn't able to tie his own shoelaces. All right. And well, so on and so forth. So yeah, you're right. 2. What special talents does he have? What special talents does he have?
Me. He could do big calculation in your head, and he could write different books.
All right. He could drive books. I mean, he could write books. He was extremely good at mathematics, right? He could do very difficult calculations. Good. Any other talent that he had? He had another talent. Take a look right over here. Here it says he speaks 10 languages, right? So that's another talent that he has. He's multilingual. All right. 3. How did the public learn about his special talents? How did the public learn about his special talents?
In a TV program.
Right, because he was invited to a TV program, right? Good. Where exactly, Miss? Can you tell me where was the TV program? Where? In which country? In which country, Miss, will be the TV program? I mean, was the TV
Iceland.
program? In Iceland.
Iceland.
Good. Now this is number 3. 4. What country? All right, we already did this one. 5. What does he do now?
He is now a best-selling author.
Author. All right, good. He's not a best-selling author, so he writes books, right? Here. What has he published?
Born on a blue day, embracing the wild sky and thinking in numbers.
Right, a book, right? That's a book. Great. That's very good. A very skillful man, right? He's a very skillful man, even though he was diagnosed as autistic. Great. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here we're going to do this part right here. All right. So I want one person to read and complete the whole thing. One person to read and complete the whole article, please.
I want Mr.
All right, Miss Maria, go ahead.
Okay, when 4 years old, Derek Paravicini heard the sound of the piano. He ran toward it. Although he was blind, he managed to reach the instrument.
Yeah. Continue, Miss.
And he pushed the piano player, a small girl, off her stall and started to play. Adam Ockleford, a piano teacher, said it was extraordinary. He was hitting the notes with his hand, his feet, his nose, even his elbows. Paravicini was able to play the tune he had just heard, and at that moment, Ockleford realized the boy was a genius.
Realized.
Okay,
was a genius. Paravicini. Continue, Miss.
was born blind and autistic and had great learning difficulties. As a child, he couldn't do many things that ordinary children do. Even today, as an adult, he can't count to 10, and he isn't able to dress or feed himself. But Paravicini has one incredible gift, music like Mozart. He can remember every piece of music he hears.
Okay, great.
It started when his parents gave him a plaster organ when he was 18 months old. He couldn't see the notes, but he managed to play tunes on it. By the time he was 4, he couldn't play many pieces on the piano. With Ockleford help, Paravicini developed his technique and played his first major concert at the Barbican Hall in London at age 9. He has performed all over Europe and the USA, and in 2006 recorded his first CD.
Very good, Miss. That's great. Excellent. Now, this was an easy topic, and thank you very much, Miss Maria, for reading and completing all the blanks. It was perfect. And well, Then let's go to what we have for today. All right. So today we are starting lesson number 8. In lesson number 8, we're going to be speaking about communities, right? So when we speak about communities, we speak about neighbors or places in cyberspace, right? Or take a look, make yourself at home or tribes, stuff like this. So we're going to be speaking about the people that surrounds us, right? People that surround us. So as I told you before, today we're just going to go over the first half, right, of lesson number 8. So we are going to cover the first grammar topic, which are articles. Let me ask you guys, do you remember or do you know, because I know you know, but do you remember what are the articles? What are the articles in English, guys? Let me see if you remember.
The, and, and.
All right, those are the two types of
To.
articles that we have. Very good, miss. So we have definite articles and indefinite articles. Great. Over here, and the second grammar of today is going to be the quantifiers. Now, do you know what quantifiers are? What do you think the word quantifier stands for? What do you think it means? Quantifier. What does it tell you when you say the word quantifier? What does it tell you?
Mister, is a word who
That
that that express quantity
quantity. Great.
quantity.
Yes, is a word that expresses quantity, that tells you how much or how many there is or there are of something. Good. Maybe is a small quantity, maybe is a very small quantity, maybe is nothing at all, or is a big quantity or a medium quantity, right? So those are quantifiers. So those are the things that we are going to cover up today, right? So let's get started, guys. I've forgotten to put this to record. Well, in the water, what happens when we say in the water? Well, we use the when we want to be very specific, but in this case, are you speaking about a kind of water?
No.
No, right? I'm speaking about water
Yes, in general.
in general. So when we go and put this in general, or we, like speak in general, then we just have to drop the article the, and that is something that I am going to explain later when we get to indefinite, to the definite article. All right, so don't worry, miss.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on. All right, generic nouns. What do I mean by generic? This is something similar to what we were saying, to what I was explaining to you, Miss Valeria. All right, so a generic noun, or a noun, is generic when it represents all members of a class or category. When you are speaking in general, you are speaking about the whole class or the whole category of something, right? So when you say water, in the case of the water, for example, you said, in this case, I was speaking about water, all types of water in general. I wasn't speaking about any type, right? I was just speaking about water in general. As I just spoke about water in general, I can call that a generic noun because it covers or it represents the whole, all the members in its class or category, right? when we have these kinds of things, or when we have these kinds of, when we express this sort of ideas, we use zero article. We don't use the, we don't use or an, right? So this is it. Take a look at the first example, right? Take a look. We have here cheetahs. So cheetahs are predatory animals. Here, when I say cheetahs are predatory animals, am I speaking about a specific group of cheetahs or a specific cheetah? What do you think? Or I am being generic?
All cheetahs.
All cheetahs, right? So I'm speaking about all of them. And as I am generalizing, I use no article. I'll explain this further on with more exercises. Here, as the second example, is when we use a. Take a look. A cheetah is a predatory animal. Now, when I say cheetah is a predatory animal, guys, am I speaking specifically about a cheetah, like that one, or am I speaking in general, or am I generalizing about any cheetah? Like this.
Specific.
Is it
Cheetah.
Is it specific or no specific? When I say a cheetah is a predatory animal, am I speaking about, that cheetah, like only one in the world, or am I speaking about all of them?
All of them.
I am being generic, right? I am generalizing my idea. Even though here I says that it's only one, what it means right here is, when I say a cheetah, I mean any cheetah. All cheetahs in its class, or all cheetahs in its category, right? In this case, I say that a cheetah can be any, and I am speaking generally, right? Now, something that is similar from this first example to this second example is that we use a here because this is a singular noun, right? So we say a cheetah is a predatory animal, right? But here I don't have to use this this article right here because this is a plural noun, right? So that is the main difference here. And even though they are like different in grammar, the idea is like the same, right? Like cheetahs are predatory animals. You're generalizing, you're speaking about all of them. And here, a cheetah is a predatory animal. Even though you are saying a cheetah, you are also generalizing, and you are also speaking about all of them. So this is a noun now. And we have a final example, like the example with water. Take a look. So normally water is a noun count. It is an uncountable noun, right? And it is, as it is uncountable, we don't use the. But there's some moments or some situation in which we can use the water, right? I will let you know in a minute. But take a look at this example. Water is essential for all animals to survive. When I say water, am I speaking about just like the water I have on a glass, or the water in planet Earth? What am I talking about?
Planet Earth.
All right.
Yes, it works.
So I am being general. Again, I'm speaking about all the amount of water that there is in our planet, right? That's what I'm talking about, and being general. So this is it. When do we use the with water, for example? When you're speaking about the masses of water, right? The Atlantic waters, for example, the Atlantic waters, but you are not speaking about like exactly the water. You're speaking about like the ocean or stuff like this, right? That's like a different way, and actually the only way in which we can use this. Because when we say, for example, hey, be careful with water, or with the water, you are being like very specific with a very small amount of water, right? Like, digamos que en el refrigerador la jarra de agua, ¿cierto? Ya se está vaciando. Entonces, si yo te digo, oh, ten cuidado con la, o mira si el agua ya se acabó, right? En ese caso, estoy hablando no genéricamente acerca de todo el agua del mundo, sino estoy hablando de una cantidad o una porción de agua en específico. ¿Cuál porción de agua? La que se encuentra en mi refrigerador, right? So, hey, just take a look. I mean, go to the fridge and take a look if the water is, I mean, if the jar still have water, right? Or if the water hasn't run out. For example, you can use the in that very specific situation. All right, let's move on and let's continue with no article. When to use no article? Now, we don't use articles when we speak about names of people, titles, right? Names of the countries, most of countries, and habitual locations. So when we say habitual locations are those locations that you normally visit, right? So for example, take a look here. We say Kanika spends 4 days a week at work and 2 days a week in school. Now, Kanika, can I say the Kanika?
No.
No, right? That is weird, even in Spanish. Even though in Spanish we say el Brian, el Kevin, right? Pero that's not correct. I mean, that's not grammatically correct because those are names and names have no articles in any language, right? So, Kanika. In the case of work, what is work? From this list right here, name, titles, countries, or location. Work.
Habitual location.
All right, so when I speak about work, it's the place where she goes to work, right? And as you can see right here, I don't say she spends 4 days a week at the work now, because this is an habitual location, so we don't use any kind of article. Here, and 2 days in school. School is also a location, right? So we say in school. But teacher, I can use the with the school, like la escuela es privada. The school is private. Yes, you can use it, right? But in this, that is like a different situation because you are speaking about the building itself, right? But here, you are more like referring to learning, like the place you go learning, all right? That's what you do right here. That's why it's a little different. Another example of this is like, for example, what most of you guys do on Sundays. You know that on Sundays you go to where? A la iglesia. So it is incorrect to say on Sundays, I go to the church. Sorry guys, I just sneezed. All right, it's not correct to say on Sundays I go to the church now, because church is also a location, a habitual location. So we are supposed to say on Sundays I go to church, right? Now let's move on and give you more examples. All right, here, take a look at the man. Here's the investor. Makusa was born in Tanzania, but spent most of his life in Kenya. What happens here? What is this? This is his name, Makusa. And what is this? This right here. Why am I not saying the ambassador Makusa? Is that possible to say, guys? This is a title, right? And when we have titles, we don't use articles. So, for example, el profesor Johan. Ojo, esto es cuando el título está precedido de un nombre, right? Entonces, si tenemos de pronto primero el título, luego el nombre, está bien. Pero si tenemos el título solo, sí podemos usar el artículo. For example, the teacher. Great. Pero si a ese the teacher yo le agrego el nombre, right? You cannot say the teacher Johan. You say teacher Johan only. No, the teacher Johan. Same thing happens here. You cannot say the ambassador Makuza, but the ambassador Makuza, right? Because this is a title. Same thing happens with all titles, right? Like Dr. Smith. The Dr. Smith is not possible. It's incorrect, right? Dr. Smith. But the doctor is very good. Am I saying any name here? Followed by, preceded by a title? No. So when I have titles alone, I can use the, but when I have titles followed by a name, then you just don't use the article. Here, Tanzania. Tanzania is a country, and most of countries don't use the or article. Kenya is another country. But what is a country that use the, for example? Can you give an example of a country that uses the? Guys, can you give me an example of a country that uses the?
The New Zealand.
The New Zealand. No, just say New Zealand. No more, right? The United States of America.
United States.
The United Kingdom. The Netherlands, right? So those are countries that use the. Now, most of the countries are normal without article, but some or a few countries are just with that, right? So let's try to exercise a little bit here. What do you think? Complete the sentences with the indefinite article or no article. So here, what do you think it goes here? No article or indefinite article? Zebra came right after me. Now take a look, Mr. Indefinite article. So it would be more like a zebra came right up to me. Now let's cover all of this here. So we stayed in what? All right. In a nice lodge. Here, games reserves usually have lodges nearby. Article or no article? Here, guys, article or no article?
The game.
Now, take a look. We're using indefinite article, which is a or an, and no article, which, remember, we use no articles because they are plural, right? And because they speak about general things. So are we speaking general here? Like game reserves usually have lodges nearby? As we are general, actually here are general, so we have no article here. How about two? That kind of bird is usually found in?
No article.
No article.
No article, right? In Zambia. Have you ever seen
An
elephant.
an elephant? Good, an elephant. This is
a
great vacation.
Great. A great vacation. 5. I would love to be.
Warden.
Game warden. Remember that when we have professions or occupations, we use right?
or and.
Great, very good, miss. Do you often see?
no article.
No article. And all right, you got it. Take a look. Take a look, take a look, and take a look. So these are the answers. The ones that have no articles, they are blank, all right? Good. So good so far. The explanation on the indefinite article, all right? Now let's go over the explanation on definite article. So which is the definite article, guys? If the indefinite articles were a and an, what is the definite article?
The.
All right, we got here the, right? So a noun is definite when we know the particular person, place, or thing being talked about, or in other things, as I explained before, here, I mean, a noun is definite when you know, or when you speak about a particular or a specific person, a particular or a specific place, or a particular or a specific thing. We're just going to be talking about one of that type, right? In the previous one, we were speaking about one that represented the whole type, right? And here we are going to speak about, I mean, the whole class or the whole category. And here we're just going to speak about one of that type, class or category, all right? So this is a definite noun, and we use the definite article to speak, I mean, to show those sort of nouns. So take a look at the pic we have right here. Take a look at the pic we have right here, and then we say, the vultures have found something to eat. The vultures have found something to eat. When I say the vultures have found something to eat, am I being specific or general?
Specific.
Specific. But yes, I am speaking about, sorry, a specific group. In this case, a specific group of vultures. How many vultures can we see on the picture? We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vultures, right? I'm just speaking about this group right here because the rest of the vultures in planet Earth, or that exist in planet Earth, maybe they haven't found anything to eat, right? So this is it. Here I am speaking about a specific amount of people, amount of places, amount of things, or amount of animals, right? So yes, I see them. Let's get closer and take a pic. This is what you get right here. For a specific, we use the. Another way of using the is when you have unique nouns. What are unique nouns? For example, can I say 1 moon, 2 moons, 3 moons, 4 moons? How many moons are there in, I mean, in a word?
Only one, teacher.
Only
One
one,
moon.
right? So I can say that that is a unique
Yes.
noun, right? Because there is only one of the class, only one its category, and only one of its kind, right? Of its type. This is it. So the moon, we say. Now here we say Nanjuki, Kenya, is located on the equator. On the equator. So what is the equator referring to? How many equators are there, guys?
One.
Only one, right?
Yes.
There's only one equator, no more. Yeah. There's only one equator line. That you got it right here. So it's an unique. Now that's why we are using the equator, because we are being extremely specific, because there is only one of its type, only one on its kind. All right, good. Let's move on. Here, indefinite article. Well, sometimes when we have groups, when we have groups of people, when we have group of things, when we have group of places or anything in general, right? We can also speak or be like, we can speak about all of them, but we can also be specific and speak about only one. Here, an adjective can often make a noun represent something unique, something similar to what we spoke right here in the equator, right? So something unique. Example, adjectives like right, run, first, only, the comparative form or the superlative form, they are like those, these adjectives that make one thing to be unique, to be special, to be specific, right? As you can see in this picture, we have three different geographies, right? But am I speaking here when I say the first geography is eaten? Am I speaking about all of them?
No,
No, right? So am I being specific here?
specific.
Yes, because I am only
Yes,
speaking about one. Which one?
the first.
The only
The
one in
first.
exactly, the only one in its type, right? This is the only one that is the number one. That is the first one, right? Then this is the second one, and this is the third one. So first is helping me make this geography an unique noun, right? So that's why I use the, because I am being very specific. There you go. For example, here, that is the tallest geography I've ever seen. Why are we using the here? Because of this, right? Because of the superlative form. When we have the superlative form, you already know that we use the. So this adjective right here, right? This adjective right here is making the geography unique in its style, in its kind, in its class, or in its category, right? She is the highest, right? Or she is the tallest in this case. Superlative adjectives, right? Another way of using the definite articles is when you, with the names of public places, some countries, as we said before, right? Many geographical, geographical regions and features. For example, here, I went to the library to learn more about Kenya. I went to the library, right? Now, here you are talking about a public place, right? A library is a place where everybody can go. It's a public place. So, there you got it. Or I went to the park to have some fun, right? I went to the park to have some fun. Is the park a public place?
Yes, of
All
course.
right. Now imagine that soccer or football is back, right? And then you say, oh, I went to the stadium, to the stadium or to the, I went to the stadium or I went to a stadium. How do you say that? To the stadium or to a stadium? Which one?
To the stadium.
All right, to the stadium. Why to the stadium? Because again, is a public place where everybody can go, right? Good. Here, Kenya is located along the Indian Ocean. Now, when we speak about geographical regions, right, or features too, then we can use this sort of things, like the Indian.
And there is only one Indian Ocean.
Exactly, and this is also a unique noun because there's only one Indian Ocean, right? Oceano Indico, only one. Great. How about here? My friends from the Netherlands are visiting Tanzania this year. The Netherlands. These are some of those countries that use the. here we have the perfect example for both types of countries. The one that use the and the ones that use, that doesn't use article, right? So take a look. My friends from the Netherlands are visiting Tanzania. Now Tanzania doesn't use the, and the Netherlands use the, right? Good. So is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, this was the letter that we worked on in the first slide of this PowerPoint presentation. As I said to you, we were going to see the answers at the end. All right. So let's do it one more time, and let's see if the answers are correct. So, dear Marta, we took,
The most wonderful.
all right, the most wonderful trip last month. We went on
A great safari.
great safari. Great, miss. Great. We went on a great safari. Yes, we are not being specific. We're just speaking about any, right? Now, safari was in Kenya. Here.
The safari.
Correct. The
Alright.
safari was
in Kenya.
Good, you are being specific. This is the
Yes.
first time you mentioned it, and this is the second time you mentioned it. Good, here. And we saw lions.
No
and-
article.
No article, right?
Article.
Because you are generalizing many of them. So yes, no article. And we saw lions and hippos up close. Here, experience was great. Are you being are you specific or non-specific here?
specific. The experience
The
was
experience.
great.
Specific.
So the experience was great.
Was great.
Here, only problem
The-
was my husband.
The only.
The only problem. Why the only? Because only is the adjective that is making the word problem to be unique. That problem, right? Good. Was bitten by.
A mosquito.
Mosquito.
All right, good. Do you know what mosquito specifically was the one that that bite her husband?
No.
No, right? That's impossible to know who, what was the mosquito that bitten, right? No, it's impossible. So here I am generalizing one more time. But since we have taken malaria medicine, we came. Here,
No article.
No article.
because this is a title followed by a name, right?
A name.
Dr. Matuka
Yes.
said he would be okay. Love, Gloria. So guys, is this clear?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so let's go back to the book and let's do some more exercises. As you can see right here, let's do the exercises right here. Complete the sentences below with an or a, the, or no article, similar to the one we just did. So I'm going to read and you're going to tell me what the correct answer is. So my neighbor has
A cat.
a cat that climbs through my window and terrorizes my goldfish. Good. 2, my neighbor is
A
A
writer.
writer.
good. He
Because it's a
writes.
profession.
Great, very good, miss. He writes a gossip column and he keeps to himself. 3, I have
The nicest neighbor.
the
It's a
nicest.
superlative.
Yes, very good. I have the nicest neighbor in the world. She invites me over for a cake and coffee. 4,
No,
No
article.
great. People are funny. We're speaking about all people in the world. My neighbor ignored me for years. Now he'll chat all day. 5, my neighbor is
An old lady.
And
an old lady who made friends with us as soon as we moved in. Good. 6, my neighbor plays the drums. He's a nice man, but I hate all
the noise.
But I hate all the noise. Good. My neighbor is from
No article.
No article.
no
It's from
article,
Mexico.
and she
It's a
cooks.
country.
All right, and she cooks amazing Mexican food. My best friend lives next door. She's
A plumber.
Plumber.
a plumber, right? Good. Now let's see the answers. Guys, don't panic, please. Don't panic. Because here there is a small mistake. Very good, very good, very good. No article, very good. Here, this the goes here, right? But I hate all the noise. And here is incorrect because, you know, this is a country and we normally, we don't normally use the for this sort of thing. So it's only Mexico.
It's a
No,
book small mistake.
yes, and it's not the Mexico, right? It's only Mexico. So here the problem is that we need to change these two. This blank goes here and that goes here. All right. Great, people. Good. Now let's move to the next part for today. Quantifiers. As Mr. Sebastian said before, a quantifier is a word that tells you the quantity or the amount of something, right? Maybe a very small amount, maybe a very small amount, a small amount, a medium amount, a big amount, or none. Nothing in general, or a lot of things, right? So what are those quantifiers? I'm going to read these sentences right here, and you are going to tell me what are the quantifiers that you think they are, right? Take a look here. Again, the quantifiers are the ones that describe quantity. So the first one is already done. My downstairs neighbors have a lot of parties. Have lots of parties, sorry. This is a quantifier. B, but there are plenty of bad neighbors too.
There are.
Which one? There are? No.
Plenty.
Plenty.
Plenty of.
Two.
Plenty of. That is also a quantifier, and it means bastante, right? En este caso, también hay bastantes vecinos malos, right? Bastante. Good. Here are a few of your stories.
A few of.
Few.
Few of, right? Good. Few of means algunas, o en este caso pocas, right? Pocas. A small quantity, pocas, right? Good. We have no complaints.
No.
No. ¿Qué significa? Nada.
Zero.
Ninguno. Zero. Good. There are all those tales of people who rescue their neighbor's cat. All. You're speaking about the whole quantity. Good. And here, he has so many that they cover the loan.
Many.
Many. Very good. So as you can see, those are words that tells you how much, how many, or what is the quantity or the exact quantity of something. All right. So now let's move to this part right here. Before going on the quantifiers and tell you a little bit how they work, right, we need to review a little bit countable nouns and uncountable nouns, because quantifiers, they can be used with countable noun, some of them only with uncountable nouns, and some of them can be used with both countable and non-countable nouns, all right? So we need to know them so that we can use quantifiers. So let's review them. Let's begin with the countable nouns. For example, here we have for countable nouns the following example. It says, I eat a banana every day. And then I say, I like bananas. Is banana a countable noun? Yes. Why? Because I can count bananas, right? I can say 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4 bananas. I can count them, right? I can easily count them. Good. And then as you can see, in general, Countable nouns are just those nouns that can have a plural, right? Those nouns that can be pluralized, or in other words, that can add s. Even though, I mean, not all the time, like only s, because you know that we have other exceptions, like the irregular nouns, that the plural is made with, I mean, differently, but we're going to speak about it later. So take a look. A countable noun can be singular and can be plural at the same time, right? As I just said. So I say a banana, and here, 2 bananas, right? 2 bananas. So they can be countable. These are some examples of countable nouns. Like, for example, I say here, an apple, and here I have 3 apples. A pineapple, 2 pineapples. A cucumber, 3 cucumbers. A strawberry, 3 strawberries. A grape, 10,000 grapes. I don't know, like 60 grapes here, right? But I can count them. There are so many. All right. But you can count them. Well, great. Let's continue. As I said before, there are some exceptions. This is an exception to the rule of adding s. Remember that when we have some of the nouns finishing in o, we add es to the plural form, like a tomato and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 9 tomatoes, right? Here, es, tomatoes. 1 potato and 2 potatoes. There you got it. But there are some exceptions to that rule. For example, there are other nouns that also finished in o, right? But they don't take es. They just take normal s, like radio and 2 radios, normal s. A photo or 2 photos, normal x, right? Sorry, normal s. And also we have the irregular nouns. Like, for example, we have the word man, I mean man and man, right? So we say 1 man and
Men.
2 men, right? We don't say 2 men's because no, it doesn't take any s, right? We say 1 child and
2 children.
2 children. Can we say 2 children's?
No.
No,
No.
only children.
No, it's incorrect.
No s, right? So those are irregular nouns, but these are parts of countable nouns. Good. So now let's review the uncountable nouns. What are the uncountable nouns? Are those nouns that cannot be counted, right? For example, I eat a bowl of rice every day. Rice. Is rice countable? Can you count
No.
rice? No, right?
No.
I drink a bottle of milk per day. Milk is an uncountable noun. Can you count milk?
No.
Nope, right? She buys a packet of tea in the market and she has a cup of coffee for breakfast. Are they countable? Can you count coffee and tea? I mean,
No.
no,
Use
right?
a packet
No.
or a cup.
All right, in order to be able to count, well, this is impossible to count them, but in order to have like a close way or a close form to count this sort of non-countable nouns, we have to take on other ways so we can count them. Like you're saying, Miss, here we have containers. Take a look. A bowl of, a bottle of, a packet of, a cup of. Those are containers. And these containers are the ones that we count. So for example here, rice is an uncountable noun. And here we have a bowl of rice. Can I say, imagine there are 2 more here. Can I say there are 3 bowls of rice? Can I say that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right? Because I am not counting the rice. What am I counting? Am I counting?
Bowl.
The bowl.
The container.
The container. Great. Very good. Now, this is what I was trying to say. Most of the non-countable nouns are those nouns that are liquids. So you cannot count the liquids like the water. You cannot count water, can you? Food. You cannot count food like bread or meat or rice or milk. You cannot count that, right? Materials like iron. You don't say the iron, you say iron only, right? Ideas like anger, love, hatred, and so on and so forth. Those are also uncountable things. And again, to refer to an uncountable noun, and if you want to count it, you have to use either containers or measuring units like a kilo, a liter, a gram, right? So on and so forth. We can continue playing with this. So let's move on here. Uncountable nouns. So here we have some examples of countable noun here. We have salad dressing. Paper is also uncountable. Ham, aluminum, and milk. Now, paper is uncountable, guys, and I want you not to, I just don't want you to confuse this then. When we say the paper is uncountable, it's because we cannot say I have one paper and I have two papers, right? No, I cannot say this. What I am counting here are the sheets, las hojas, no el papel como tal. So this is one sheet and two sheets,
Or
right?
a piece of paper.
Great. So when we want to count the paper itself, we have to do what Miss Valeria has just said. She said, a piece of, right? So if I want to say a piece of paper, this is the thing, right? If I want to say two pieces of paper, is also possible, right? Pieces of, hang on, paper. So take a look. One piece of paper, two pieces of paper, three pieces of paper, right? So this is the way we can count them. But again, if you refer to this as sheet, then you can say one sheet, two sheets, and three sheets, right? Now, there's something else that you gotta take into account whenever it comes to the word paper. La palabra papel puede ser contable siempre y cuando, o se puede pluralizar siempre y cuando se refieran, bueno, la palabra papel se refiera no como tal a una hoja, como en este caso, sino a una clase de trabajo que se tenga que entregar o se tenga que hacer. Les coloco un ejemplo. Normalmente ustedes yo les coloco a hacer ensayos, les coloco a hacer un montón de trabajos, ¿cierto? Esos trabajos ustedes lo pueden tomar como un paper. So ustedes pueden decir, oh, I have to hurry up because I have some papers to do for Johan. I got some papers to do for Johan. Con relación a paper, lo que refieres es trabajos que tienes que hacer. Otra manera de decir papers en plural sería cuando se refieren a documentos. Entonces, digamos que tengo unos documentos los cuales tengo que llenar. Cuando me refiero a documento, yo puedo decir papers. I got some papers to fill in. I got some papers to fill in, right? Or in other words, I got some documents to fill in. So when paper refers to those types or to those two different situations, then you can use it like countably, right? And when they just refer to a material, like the paper, right? A material, then they are uncountable. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's delete this here and let's move. Okay, here we have our first two quantifiers. Here we have some, right? The first quantifier that we have, some. Some can be used for, as you can see, there is some meat in the fridge or some cheese in the fridge, and there are some rulers on the desk and some pencils on the desk, right? You can use some for both singular nouns, I mean singular nouns, and plural nouns. We can also use some with uncountable nouns and countable nouns, right? And what some means is just a small quantity, like a middle quantity of something or a small quantity of something. So hay poca carne o hay carne en el refrigerador, poco de ella, right? O hay algunas, ¿cómo es? Algunas rulers, a veces reglas y lápices en el escritorio, right? Con el mismo sentido de un poco, right? There you go. Any is the following one. When do we use any? Any is the same than some, and we use it in the singular form and the plural form. Also, any can be used for the uncountable nouns and the countable nouns. But the only difference between any and some is that any is basically used in the negative sentences, very good, miss, and in the interrogative sentences. But some is basically used in the affirmative sentences, all right? Now, let's have a little quiz here of what we have done so far. Let me minimize this. There you go. So, correct the forms, put the correct forms of the given words into the spaces. Here are the given words. So, John is eating some
Potatoes.
Then you go potatoes, right? Good. Is there any?
A bottle of water.
No, listen, take a look here. Is there any in the yard? Remember that water, only water, right? Any water. Why any? Because we are using here an interrogative sentence.
Okay.
Remember that any is for interrogative and negative. Mother says, go. Please give me some. Go, please give me some.
Jams.
Why plural? This is food.
Normal.
So food, remember that most food are uncountable nouns. So here you need to know when a noun is countable and when a noun is uncountable. There are some
fishes.
Nope. The word fish is uncountable. There are some fish in the river. 5. There aren't any
Tomatoes.
All right, tomatoes on the table. All right, guys, remember that fish is uncountable. So you cannot say 1 fish, 2 fish, 2 fishes, 3 fishes, 4 fishes. No, you cannot count it, right? It's impossible to count it because it's an uncountable noun. But in case you tell me, teacher, pero si tengo bastantes tipos de pescados o de peces, pues en ese caso no estarías contando el pez, sino estarías contando el tipo de pez, all right? So the type is the one that you're going to be counting in this case. Now let's continue with the next one, some and any. There is not
any sugar.
Any sugar, good. There
Because
are
negative. Some stars.
Great. There aren't
Any
roses. Father says, please give me
some
oil. Is there
any orange juice?
Any.
Great. And is there
some paper on the desk?
Some paper.
Is there? There is some paper on the desk. Very good, right? So is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's move then. Now, those were like the first 2 quantifiers, but we got more. Take a look. We have some, we have any, I already explained, and we have now a lot of. What is the meaning of a lot of, guys? What does a
Mucho
lot?
de.
Muchos.
All right, mucho, right? A lot of is the same than many and the same than much. But the only difference is that a lot of can be used for countable and also for uncountable nouns. Like, for example, there are a lot of cars in Manchester, or there is a lot of pollution in the capital, right? Take a look. This is a countable noun, cars, and pollution is an uncountable noun. And both are used with a lot of and a lot of. There is another version, is the version that we got in the book, right? Like, I'm gonna write it here. There are lots of, can you see the difference? Lots of cars in Manchester. Can you see a difference from this sentence to this one?
Yes.
All right. The quantifier here is a lot of, and here it is?
Are love of.
No. Here it is
Just
a lot of,
love.
and here is lots
Lot of.
of. Lots of. Take a look at the S, you need to pronounce the S. Lots of. A lot of and lots of. So when do I use a lot of and when do I use lots of? Well, basically a lot of can be used, as I said before, for both countable and uncountable nouns. So no problem with that. In the case of lots of, we normally use it only for countable nouns like this, but I cannot say there is lots of pollution in the capital. No, in this case, I only use a lot of. So you can use the one you like, either lots of for countable only, or a lot of for both countable and uncountable. In my case, for example, I like more a lot of because I don't have to be thinking on, oh, this is a countable or an uncountable noun, right? But you can use the one you prefer. It's okay because both are fine. But remember that this one right here is only for countable nouns, not for uncountable nouns. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Okay. So take a look at the next one. Many and few or a few. We use many and a few only for countable nouns only, right? So are there many books in the library? Many books. We can count books. Not really, just a few ones. Or yeah, there are a few. Again, here we are speaking about the books one more time. We can count them. Many refers to a big quantity, right? Mucho. And a few refers to a small quantity, a very small quantity, pocos, poquitos, right? In the case of much, is the same than this one, a little, but this is the uncountable version of this one. So is there much honey in the jar? Honey is food, we cannot count it, right? And actually there is a much, or there is a little. Much also speaks or refers to a very big quantity, and little refers to a very small quantity. Is this clear, guys? Yeah. So this was the explanation of these quantifiers. We got more, of course, but these are the explanation of how to use them. So let's practice a little bit. Okay, so let's practice with much and many. So I don't have
Much.
much free time these days. Good. So there aren't
Many.
many good restaurants, right? Good. How? Number 3, how?
Much.
Take a look at the word kilos.
Oh,
Can you count the kilos? All right, so how many kilos of rice do you eat today? Do you eat
Much.
much Indian food? Good, food, uncountable. Did your
Uncountable.
iPad cost?
Much.
Much, great. How?
Much.
All right, how much red meat? Good. How much red meat do you eat every week? How
Much sugar.
much sugar? And I don't drink
Much
Much
coffee.
coffee.
much coffee, right? So this is something easy to use, I think. Now let's move on and practice a little bit more. Now with this ones right here. Few, little, and a lot of. So number one, she eats. She eats
A lot of meat.
all right, she eats a lot of meat, but very
Few.
few salads. Good. I've got
A lot of.
a lot of CDs. You can also say, why no, a few CDs. That depends on the situation. I wrote a few, right? I've got a few CDs, but very,
Little space.
yes, space is uncountable. Good, but very little space. Here, he does very,
A lot of
take a look. Nosotros no podemos usar very.
why, mister?
Ya te estoy explicando. No podemos usar very con a lot of. Very a lot of. No, that combination does not exist, right? Very normally goes with a few and with little. So he does very little housework. Why little? You know, the housework cannot be counted. And watches what?
Few TV.
Why few? ¿Tú puedes contar la televisión? La
Ah,
televisión.
no.
A lot of.
En este caso, a lot of TV. All right. 4. I've got
Little time.
all right. Why not? Little time and
A lot of things.
a lot of things to do. Good. 5. We recycle guys, we recycle rubbish. ¿Es la basura contable o no contable? Is rubbish countable or non countable? Can you count rubbish?
No.
So what do we have to use here? We recycle. It can be, depending on the situation, can be both, right? A lot of or a few rubbish. I mean, a little rubbish, right? We recycle a lot of rubbish and use very
Little.
little water, all right? So you need to try to get used to this, guys. Okay, as we had said before, we got also containers like a bar of, a bowl of, a carton of, a gram of, a packet of, a loaf of, a bottle of, a can of, a cup of, a jar of, a piece of, and a kilo of, right? You can continue writing or inventing the ones that you like, right? Now, here I got some questions and I have a picture. This is a picture. So you are going to answer this question from the picture, all right? Using the picture. So there you go. First question says, how many bottles of beer can you see? How many bottles of beer can you see, guys? In the picture. How many bottles of beer can you see in the pic?
One bottle.
All right, there's only one bottle of beer. There isn't any more bottles here. Good. How about number 2? How many balloons are there on the table? There you go. How many balloons are there on the table?
4.
All right, you got 4 balloons on the table. Good. 3. How many plastic glasses are there? Take a look. Plastic glasses.
A lot of.
There are a lot of them, right? There are actually 20 something, 22, I think, glasses. All right, good. Is there much food? What do you think? Is there much food?
Yes,
All
there
right,
is a lot.
there is a lot. Good. Is there much orange juice? Is there much orange juice? Is there much orange juice, guys?
I don't see any orange.
Actually, there is only 1 glass of orange juice, and it's this one right here. The rest of them, they seem to be soda, right? And soda and beer. Take a look. Are there many people? Are there many people? There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, there are.
A lot.
There are a lot of people. Good. And the last question, are there many elderly people? Elderly means viejito people.
Yes, there are.
Yes, there are a
All
lot
right.
of.
Yes, there are a lot of elderly people. All right. As you can see, in each of these questions, you were answering by telling me a quantifier. So good. Guys, was this clear?
Yes, Miss.
All right. So now let's go back to the book. In the book, we are going to do this exercise. Take a look. I am going to read and you are going to tell me the correct alternative. The alternatives are going to be the quantifiers, all right? So let's begin. How to be a good neighbor. If someone moves in next door, introduce yourself. If they are new to the area, they'll probably have a little or a lot of questions.
A lot of
A lot of questions, good. For example, how much or many times per week the garbage is collected? How much times or how many times?
How many?
How many?
How many? Aquí times no se refiere al tiempo, sino a las veces. So how many times per week the garbage is collected? Get to know them and give them a bit or plenty of information about yourself. Well, honestly, guys, I think that here you can use both a bit of information or plenty of information. That depends on the person, right? Because if you like to give information to people, then you go plenty of information. But if you just don't like to give information to people, then you just go ahead and give a little bit of information, right? So both can be possible. Now, if you do all of or a lot of gardening, which one is the correct one?
A lot of.
All right, a lot of gardening. Or if your kids sometimes make too much noise or many noise.
Much.
Good. Let them know. Some families have several or plenty pets.
Several.
Several. ¿Por qué no plenty? Why not plenty, guys? Well, several means varios. Plenty means muchos. But when we use plenty, plenty is most likely or all the time accompanied by the preposition of. You cannot use plenty without of. Always with of, right? So here we have no of, so that's why we don't use, that's why it's incorrect. Let's continue. Dogs can be noisy, and cats sometimes wander into neighbors' yard or homes. If it happens only a few or little times,
A few.
okay, yes, a few times, that's okay. But if it happens a lot or much, honestly, I think you can use both here, but it'd be better using a lot, right? Let's continue. It's a problem. People who say they never have much or many trouble. Much trouble. Trouble means problem, but is uncountable. Good with their neighbors are usually good communicators. It's easy. Tell them about community news and events. Tell them beforehand about your parties, or better still, invite them. If they are partying with you, they will not complain about the noise. None or no?
No.
No, right? So guys, I think this was completely clear, wasn't it? Do you have any questions on this topic? Guys, do you have any questions on this topic?
No, mister.
Guys, so this is it. This was today's class then.